Okay, so we're back for another round of Remy addresses the haters, and or bots or trolls or whatever they are. You know, like people lately are thinking that most of these are bots, but I actually think that that's just optimistic. I don't think that that's true. I think most of these are actually human beings, and people just don't want to think that, you know, most of society is this dumb, aggressive, and angry or kind of embarrassing. But I think that it's reality is probably scarier than we think. I think it's these people walk among us, you know?
Yeah.
I think that there are a substantial amount of these that never leave their houses, but there's also like there's a lot of them that they are just they're working, they're going out, they're doing their thing, and then they're spending their waking hours just
Hating.
slamming their faces on their phones as hard as they can at whatever the fuck comes across their screen.
Well, this gentleman says, don't lose the battle.
No, he doesn't say don't lose the battle. You're giving him too much credit. He says don't loose the battle.
Oh, dyslexic. Don't loose.
You just want to make sure
Don't
we're clear
loose
here.
the battle, for the devil come back.
I don't want to misrepresent
Don't
this
loose.
gentleman. We're not going to loose the battle for the devil. And it's like, I can appreciate that a lot of these religious type, fanatical, evangelical type people, for whatever religion they're involved in, they're trying to help, but they're doing more damage to their cause than they are good.
Yep.
Nobody cares. Literally no one wants to hear this or gives a shit. Hey, what do you think the percentage of people convinced by one of these messages to join the faith that this guy believes in is?
This is the reason why I have turned away from religion a long time ago. Is people like this this hateful rhetoric but makes me not want to be part of that community.
Just ballpark, what do you think the percentage of people convinced to join a religion from a patronizing message like this is?
Less than 1%.
Do you think it ever works? Do you think anyone's ever going to go, you know what, I have been loosing the battle with the devil for a while?
I think that there is, a person out there that might be like, oh no, the devil, and maybe they're at that exact point in their life where...
Usually most people who are struggling, they don't go, you know what, the devil's had... he's got me down. It's usually like, oh, I can't afford the thing I want.
No,
or
I think
rent is due.
No, I think some people.
I don't know about that.
No.
Whenever I've had hard times, I haven't been blaming the devil.
I've met one. I've met at least one person that anytime anything went bad in their life, they would always try and find a scapegoat, and the devil would have been a perfect scapegoat.
Maybe I'm just too fucked up because I think the devil would be my bro.
Yeah, me
like I
too,
think
but-
it's like, hey man,
You
did it your way.
I don't think you were raised in religion.
We were actually.
Not the same way I was.
We were. My mother was like very, very involved in religion, and we went to Sunday school and everything when we were young. But she kind of snapped out of it all at once at some point. She's still spiritual, but like she just doesn't. She doesn't talk about it a lot. But yeah, no, we went to Sunday school and.
How old were you when you stopped going?
Probably 7 or 8.
Okay, I think you're still pretty young.
But it was like it was kind of on a dwindle, and then it dropped off all at once.
We churched.
No, my mother, she got us to clean our rooms up by threatening that we would go to hell if we didn't do our chores. Like
my mom didn't do that.
That was literally what.
But we churched until, probably I was 11 or 12, and then we Catholic schooled until I was the last one to leave. No, my older brother was the last one to leave Catholic school. He's about 16.
To me, there was never anything good in it until I seen when my son's mother's mother was passing away, pancreas cancer. The only time I ever seen anything good in it was the faith they had that she was going somewhere nice.
Yeah.
Right? Like that was one of those moments in my life where I was like, oh, well, I won't have that. Like when my mom dies, I won't. And I'm not looking to get that either. But like that was the only good that I ever seen in it.
It's actually problematic for me, as you know, because it keeps me up at night. Because I'm like, there's no heaven for me to go to.
I've lived in a way that if I pass away tomorrow, I've made my peace with it.
Anyways, religious talk. So let's move on to this.
This clear as day alcoholic that's asking me to come to his grandkid's birthday party to scare people.
Macho Man or something.
Yeah, he's like a cross between like alcoholic kind of Kid Rock meets Macho Man Randy Savage
Perfect.
type
I was
thing.
going to say Kid Rock.
Yeah. I can actually hear this in his voice.
How much you change to come to
Charge. He says charge. Give him his credit.
Oh, how much you charge? I'm not reading good today.
Yeah.
How much you charge to come to my grandkid's birthday party and scare the hell out of them?
Yeah, like I'm just. Can you imagine running that service? Like it's just like, oh yeah, I'll do, like $40. I keep it. My rates are fairly reasonable, right? I'm not trying to con anyone of their money here. I got a fairly busy schedule. I could probably fit you in next Sunday.
I think he's calling you a clown.
Oh, he's calling me something. I know, but I'm trying to figure out like what the payment model would be for such a service. Like, do they do like is it like a flat rate? Do I have an hourly rate? What do I do with that?
$100 an hour.
Yeah.
Tattoo rates.
Whatever the case,
$200 an hour.
This guy was
C80.
clearly from a bygone era where that may have actually been a thing at some point.
Yeah.
But like, I can't even remember the last time I heard of anything like that.
The other thing that
People are like, whoa, there must be a circus in town. When was the last time there was a circus in town? Can you even remember? It's the Circus du Soleil. That's the only one.
We had that Halloween one.
I don't know about any Halloween circus.
There was a Halloween circus. Anyways.
They're like basically done.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So that just tells you how old and like his brain is probably getting a little foggy. He might actually still think we're in the 80s by the looks of it.
I was going to say, I feel like this guy probably likes like Kiss or like Ozzy and like,
I don't know.
Go away, guy. Next guy.
Blade Max. This guy's an edgelord.
Uglier than Kick in the Balls.
I didn't know Kick in the Balls had a physical appearance to it.
I mean, he's probably got some pretty nasty looking balls.
Yeah, I mean, he looks happy enough, right? Like, he looks happy enough. I don't know why he's so upset with me, what I've done to grieve the man, but...
Well, I could think of a few things. He has bad hair. He's kind of chubby. He probably doesn't have a girlfriend.
Well, he's probably got some personal problems for sure, but yeah, I don't know. This feels like broken English, but he looks like he's a native English speaker. So it's one of those... Dude, you need to work on your sentence structure there.
Sometimes I think these people are just jealous that you have like a great life and they don't.
Most of them don't look that far into it. And like when you would counter with such things, like if you tell them, "Oh no, actually I'm doing good." No, they're not open to anything factual. Like they're just in pure denial and delusion at that point, and they're sure that anyone that looks in a way they don't like would be doing worse than they are. Mm-hmm. So. Where we go here?
So we say, woohoo, trolling you, you're a narcissist.
She must think that narcissist is blocked by some kind of a trigger filter or something.
Looking for attention, you're pathetic. And pathetic is not even spelled properly.
And ironically, when people say these things, it's always my attention they're hoping to get, right? It could just be a picture of me and a dog or something, theoretically, and they'll come in with this hoping to get my attention.
Right.
Well, they have it, and then it's like, do you want me to talk about how hideous I find you? Like, what are you looking to get out of this? The fact that you have no fucking hair anymore? Maybe that's why you're so fucking miserable.
Well, and then also, like...
Here's what's pathetic. Being a 70-plus-year-old woman by the looks of things, and if you're not, you're aging poorly. And this is how you're behaving. I can't even imagine being that old at the end of it going, you know what I'm going to do with the rest of my years? I'm going to fucking be a piece of shit on social media and see if I can upset someone.
Yeah, I also think that,
I pity this woman.
The people who find joy in trolling people are definitely the narcissists. But
yeah, it's actually been proven. They've done tests on it.
Yep.
It's akin to narcissism.
Mm-hmm.
People who troll are high on the narcissism spectrum.
Oh, yeah. I know
Every
it.
time. Like, it's irrefutable.
I know people who like to troll, and they are narcissists.
Like, this is like, I know everything. That person's terrible because I don't like them. I'm going to see if I can make them feel shitty.
Yeah, because I feel shitty.
Yeah. I bet she'd feel happier if she had some fucking hair.
I don't.
But you want to get in the arena, then yeah, you're game now.
I don't want to comment on the lack of hair because
I'm commenting on the lack of hair.
It's
probably part of why she's pissed off.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's not my fault. It's got nothing to do with me.
It's true. I agree with that. So this guy Matt says,
you probably thought dick was censored.
Wow, super cool. Chop your dick off.
Why is it that the dumbest people always have to breed? I feel bad for these kids.
And then also, too, like, what if someone was doing this to your kid?
If I'm going to have a kid in my profile picture, I'm not going to be making these kinds of comments.
But I think people like this are the ones that make those kids that are internet bullies.
Oh, well, these kids have no chance. They're fucked. Like they're gonna go out into they're gonna be as dumb as he is.
Well, they're gonna go out into the world and they're gonna start being mean to their peers like this. And Dad here's gonna be like, my kid would never do that.
I seen my dad as he's a full grown piece of shit, so that's how you do it, right? Mm-hmm. And like I had one guy, I put one of these in my Instagram story one time, and they were like, "You shouldn't put up the picture with his kids." Well, if he's fucking making comments from that picture,
yep.
Then yeah, he's getting fucking called out.
Yeah, if they put up a picture of their kids, they're risking their kids themselves.
And by the way, these pieces of shit will will insult my kid.
Yeah.
Right? Like I've had people come into my comments and be like, "That's an ugly kid."
Which is awful.
It's fucking insane.
Right.
But it's always guys like this.
Yeah.
This guy right here, the normal looking white dude, is probably the most vulgar piece of shit online every time. So it's like, no, it would have been better for the world if you chopped your dick off before you were able to have kids. Yeah. Because these kids have no chance.
Don't reproduce. Whoa.
Yeah, this guy looks high on the derp spectrum.
And it says, you're a piece of shit to watch.
Then stop watching me. No one's making you watch. And by the way, if you get offended at this video, you could stop watching too.
Right.
Like, yeah, this is like... Why are you fucking watching me? People always act like they have a gun to their head or something.
Oh, actually really funny. My best friend, I just hung out with her the other day. We don't see each other super often because we're adults and she has a child and we're adults. And you had noticed that she was commenting on a lot of these.
Oh, she loves these.
Yeah, and she said to me when we were hanging out, she's like, "Oh my gosh, that thing that Remy is doing is so funny."
Yeah, well, these guys deserve it. Like if you get in,
she knows they deserve it.
Like the minute you write a comment like this is content.
Yeah.
According to social media platforms, this is content.
Well, and anybody who knows you well, and then anybody like we've had friends who have realized randomly out of nowhere, it's like they clued in that you're kind of internet famous, and then you always, in that first week that they've realized it, you always see them in the comment section trying to defend you. Because people are really bothered.
Whenever I'm on like an article or something, and there's literally hundreds of these. These people, this Samu 26 and his kin, like his breed, they flood the comment sections, and it's a little bit like lifting a rock up after a rainstorm. And you see all the weird bugs you only see when it's really mucky out. You just put the rock back down, right? Like you don't go into that comment section because there's almost nothing human in there. Well, there's nothing human in there, right?
Yeah, I know.
And that's they're just congregating amongst each other, and they're jerking each other off, and they're getting more and more radicalized, and the comments are getting dumber and angrier and poorly written.
I don't read your comment sections.
That's humanity, though. People want to pretend those are all bots.
I know.
That's this guy.
But these are real human beings, and I can't read your comment sections. This because they make me angry. Straight to jail.
The straight to jail for that hair. Well, that should be illegal wearing that hair right there, son. That's like I've had some bad hair too, but that's some fucking hair right there. I think the implication is that my appearance should be illegal. Hey, like that's the idea.
Yeah.
It should be illegal to have tattoos and piercings.
I mean, it's not in our country, so.
Yeah, well, I don't know what country this guy's from. Let's not make a judgment on that. He could be from down the road.
Yeah, I know, but like, I mean, there are countries where you may be jailed for tattoos.
Yeah, barbaric morons would put someone in jail.
You wouldn't be getting tattooed in that country. You wouldn't live there.
But
you'd be gone.
Realistically, like if you're jailing someone over how they look, then I don't have a lot of respect for you to begin with. Just saying. And if anything should be outlawed, it's this hair. Let's be real here. This is more offensive than anything I'm doing right now. Right? I could break several laws and not feel as guilty as he should for wearing this hair.
You don't break laws.
No. But,
you haven't even got a ticket driving.
Oh,
so.
I love the expression. This is his smile.
This is like a shit-eating face.
Yeah.
Says,
I just ate a plate of shit before I wrote this comment.
Let's see. Bro, this is so cringe. OMG. Why would you do this to yourself? I'd be forever regretful and sad. I did this to my body and depressed.
It's like he's writing an essay and he has to get to a certain amount of words.
And depressed, even if I pretended not to be.
To not be.
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus. Once the attention goes away, you'll regret it and realize you did it for everyone else.
This is an admission of guilt that everything in his life he's done to please others and he's still not happy.
Right.
That's what I just read.
Yeah, I think
that's literally, this is projection, is what this is called.
I think so too. And I think that the opposite would be true for you. If you had stifled yourself and held yourself back from doing whatever you do.
I have done whatever the fuck I wanted at whoever's detriment my entire life.
Yep,
and made
but if
no
you had stopped doing that, then you would be filled with regret.
My whole life story is I did whatever I wanted in that moment, despite what it cost me. You should have heard me when I talked to my bosses. It was always like,
I've heard
if you were anyone else, I would have fired you.
Yeah.
Like, it was always just like, Jesus Christ, man, you have to have such a big dick about everything. Like, it was every single issue was always, I do it my way, whether it hurts me or not.
I know.
And
I live with you.
Yeah, and I tell people the uncomfortable thing every time. This guy here,
live with you.
You know what he's angry about is he hasn't done things his way once in his life. He doesn't even know if he has a way. He's been doing things to try and get by, squeak by under the radar, and not bother anyone his entire life. He's never made a wave once, and he's still unhappy.
And I always think that people like this hold sort of this secret jealousy when they see someone who isn't afraid to conform to the societal norm.
Right?
No, exactly. They're not thinking about it. It's a subconscious thing.
It's just playing in the background, like, how come I did everything right? It didn't work for me. And that guy's doing everything wrong, and it's working for him. Right? That's what's fueling this. And by the way, before we move on, the people who use the word cringe like this, they're usually the dumbest people.
It's so cringe.
There's certain words that I hear, and I automatically assume you're of a very low intellect.
Yes.
Same thing. Everyone's using the word grifter now. Like, anyone who says something they don't like, they call them a grifter.
I didn't know that.
It's obviously they're being dishonest. Yeah, if you're using certain words like that, I just put you in the moron bin. Immediately. Like, you're immediately dumb in my mind.
I feel like we've met this man before.
Yeah,
I think we've seen him before. I swear he's commented on your things before.
No, I don't think so.
This mustache is familiar.
No, I think he's doing his thing.
He says, it's not enough to serve demons anymore. You have to stamp it on your skin.
Dude, I've been working hard for these demons.
God makes humans perfect in his image and likeness, but humans who look like darkness, not light.
But humans who look like darkness, not light. I feel like there was more to that. He just stopped. He just kind of trailed off.
I know.
It's like he was like, remember we were watching that stream the other day and the dude was like passing out over and over again? And you were like, look, he just fell asleep.
Yeah.
That's what happened. He just passed out while he was typing.
Somehow
he had entered stuff.
He pointed out the hypocrisy in his own theory, though. People who believe in this, like, God made me in his image.
I don't know if he knows the word hypocrisy. Like, you might be giving him too much credit.
If you believe that God had purposely formed each and every one of us the way we are on purpose, then saying that someone like Remy is demonic or devilish or whatever is going against God's plan. So you should shut the fuck up. That's what you believe.
I'm not going to come right out here and say all religious people are morons.
I don't think they are.
That's quite the statement.
It is.
No, I'm not going to say all religious people are morons, but most morons are religious. Okay?
Yep.
Like, it's like that. I heard the line, there was a comedian that said, not all racists are Donald Trump supporters. Or not all, but all racists are Donald Trump supporters, was the line I heard one time. And it means that most of the low IQ people are believing in very low IQ concepts.
Yep.
right? And I'm not saying that all religion means you're stupid. That's not what I'm saying. But it does tend to run with very low-hanging.
Well, they're just people who don't know how to question. They don't have that analytical thought.
And they've never even thought to question.
And it's not a generalization. It's just it attracts.
I've met some brilliant religious people, but more often what you see, especially in the social sphere, is like very dumb people writing sentences like this. This is not really a sentence. Or paragraph.
I'm going to throw out there too, if we seem a little angry over here, we live in Canada's Bible Belt.
Not prefacing anything.
I'm just throwing that out there.
I've honestly found a correlation between very dumb people and organized religion.
Yeah. But contextually, just so that the viewers understand, we're in Mormon land. Basically.
But anyone who's going to be offended by this probably needed to hear it.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm not serving demons. As I just said, I'm serving myself here. I'm not doing anything for anyone like that.
Nope.
So let's finish on a strong note.
All right. So Matt for supper says, someday in the future, you'll look back and say, what the fuck did I do to myself? And then you will have to self-delete.
So like this, you know where you read this? This is like on the inside of his autobiography where they have like the little quote before you start the book.
Yeah.
That's like his opening line for the summary of his life. He's like speaking aloud. This is like what's being said at his funeral or something. That's what I immediately think. It's like he's at the end of his life and he's not happy, and now is his chance to try and ruin as many other people's days as he can.
And I think like a person like this, he probably thinks he's the nicest guy on the face of the planet.
Well, look, he's got a nice smile.
He's wishing for somebody else's suicide.
Yeah. Yep, this is common. Buy a rope. You wouldn't believe how many times that some old piece of shit will write that on.
But if you ask him, he's probably like, "Oh, I'm so nice." Blah 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 blah.
Well,
but they don't realize
they have no frame of reference for how insane they are.
Yep.
There's no understanding of how ridiculous it's all justified because that person looks different from me, right? Like whatever you say against it, it's always justified by that guy looks different than me.
Yeah,
he
should die.
Yeah, he should die. It all comes from this very small brain kind of thing where it's like anyone who thinks, talks, or looks different than me is, he should be put down.
Yeah, and I think someone like this is probably more likely to be racist and sexist.
Oh, he's any type of thing you can imagine. All bets are
because
off.
if you think anybody who is other from you should self-delete.
If you get this thought from simply looking at someone that looks different from you, you are subject to any bad thought I can imagine, right? Like immediately, it's one of those. If you think this from looking at someone, then it means
you're making that snap judgment.
Yeah.
You're ugly. You should die.
Yeah, you're ugly in my eyes. You should be dead. That's what he's saying.
Yep.
So that can apply to any other that you can find.
Well.
Right? So. It's really sad that, again, like I said, most people think these are bots, but I don't actually think so. I think that the percentage of people who make, especially really weird off-the-wall comments like this, bots would have a more summary kind of message. There might have been a few in here, but ones like this where they're so off the wall, right? This is a human being. This could be your grandpa, and it's hard for people to reconcile the fact that their grandfather is a hateful piece of shit.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times that's the case.
Well, I also think that people want to say that it's bots because they have a hard time believing that the human race
and also they haven't dealt with this, right? Yeah. Unless you've been in the social sphere creating some kind of content for the last few years, you probably don't even know this is a thing.
Oh, it's been going on forever.
But it's gotten worse lately. But most people, when they see this, like you said earlier, the people who have been friends with me or known me and then they see an article, they can't believe what they interface with.
They cannot. It bothers them because they know you.
But that's every single day. That's every day, every platform, every creator sees this. Mm-hmm. And I was chatting with Raleigh, Raleigh Reacts the other day. I was like, man, the trolls have been really, really fucking violent lately, eh? Really radicalized the last couple months, and he completely agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's gotten so unhinged. But people want to think, oh, well, that can't be people. No, it's people.
Yeah, I know.
People just aren't that good.
People aren't capable of that meanness in their mind.
No, they are.
Naive.